You know, over the last 48 hours, I have been contacted by a number of songwriters and producers that are legends in this game.
Okay.
And they were like, yo, dudes is tripping out here. Like, why would they get into who's writing songs for who? Why would that happen? They don't want that problem.
That is completely true.
Because when the curtain gets lifted on that's why there's some people who are silent.
I know you did
a different
say
type of silent.
That's right. A lot of people are quiet.
It's the entire industry, guys. Songwriting is part of the game.
There are some people who their literal profession, that's all they do is write songs.
Yeah,
And that's why a lot of ghostwriters are quiet. They don't want to expose the people that they wrote because they're not going to get any more work.
Well, and they get the residual money. They get the initial work. They get, some people don't want to be on the stage. They love being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I put up a new episode of the Juan Epstein podcast today, and me and Syph had a long conversation about this whole thing, and he's like, songwriting, Syph was an A&R. He's like, that's literally what everyone does. He was like, I personally would jump in and finish a line for someone. How about this? How about that? Everyone does it all the time. So when Meek brought that up, you have to remember, as much as I'm in the middle on this and I want to see who does what, I did think Meek's initial diss to Drake was a what part of the game is that moment. Like, I don't think it
that's
was
what we're doing?
Why are we doing that?
Right. So, what do we think this is really about? Is this really just about the verse on Meek Mill's album that Drake performs that Meek says Drake did not write on the Rico song?
The girl of your dreams to me is probably not a challenge. That one.
Well, the entire verse he says Drake didn't write, but then people speculated that line that you said off the Rico song was a diss to Meek Mill. But if Drake didn't write the song or write the verse, why is that a diss?
Right.
So what is this really about? Shawnee Culture has a theory.
I think it's Nicki Minaj. She's at the root of this. I say this because Nicki doesn't like Drake. There's some beef between Nicki and Drake because if Nicki is with Meek Mill, why would you let your man go with your brother? You know what I'm saying? Nicki is supposed to be.
But sometimes, listen, in real families where you're married to a man who has brothers, sometimes
your brother acts up.
And sometimes you're just caught in the middle of family beef.
That happens all the time, Shawnee.
Yes, right, but however, Shawnee's right, because evidence would suggest, based on how Meek handles Nicki, like he would probably do what she wanted him to do. If she was like, absolutely not, you can't do that.
Right. Why
it's
you
too
going
early in their relationship.
Yeah.
He couldn't just be like, nah, F that.
So you're feeling also, Rosenberg, like this is Nicki saying Meek go get Drake.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, not that. But he feels comfortable enough because they have pillow talk. He knows that Nicki.
So I'm asking you if you think Nicki's at the root, if that's what you guys are saying.
I think it has to do with money too. Remember you mentioned something about splits and money, and I think it has something to do with money. Yes, Nicki also, but she's not the main reason.
She doesn't. There's something going on between her and Drake. This is why Meek is standing up.
They're very close.
They have beef. They came out together. They started together. Why
so Shawnee goes with Nicki and Drake ain't good.
Right.
Meek knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And then throw in the money splits.
Right.
The verse on the song that he didn't write, and that was enough for him to go out.
And she's like, "Go ahead. I can't stop him."
Cast one.
She can't.
Yeah. What is really at the root of this Drake Meek thing, in your opinion? Do you agree with what you're hearing here, or you have another theory?
A little bit. I think it's more a social thing and more the way you're perceived by, the way Meek feels he's perceived by the people.
What does that mean? I don't understand.
All right, for example, right? Like you said, the line, Laura Styles, the line that you said, right?
Your girl of your dreams,
yes.
For me, is not a challenge.
Meek knows that line is not about him, but everybody else is attacking him, hitting him. Yo, that line's about you. The line's about you. So he goes, you know what?
So the trolls on social.
He goes, you know what? That line's not about me. Furthermore, I'll tell you that line is not about me because he didn't write it. And that's how it happened. And I think it was just something that just went from there.
Rosenberg, where are you at on this? Do you agree? Like I think you're like me. You're looking at this as like all the above.
I think so too, though. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. I think that it does add up when people are hitting you nonstop, being like they're talking about you, they're talking about you. I do think there's an issue potentially with the song Rico that Drake wouldn't agree to what the percentage was, and as a result wouldn't promote the album. We know Meek does not like when people don't promote albums.
And he tweeted that. He tweeted that.
Him and Wale almost fell out about that, so we know Meek cares about that. There's a lot of factors here, but at the root of everything, when there's a problem in life, is generally that grown men don't like to be honest about what upsets them, right? Like, I'm the kind of person who, when I make a mistake, I very often say, I'm sorry. I'm also very often called a bitch for that, right? People don't realize that what really being a bitch is not owning up to mistakes or what you're upset about.
Apologizing.
So, in the case of both, of most men, they are not going to address what the real issue is. And as a result, all these other things get thrown in the middle, and you end up with what we have now, which is just an ish show, a fiasco with two guys who probably should be getting along. I mean, Drake has written for Meek before. And Meek has written for Drake before.
And you know, look, there's video of Meek Mill shouting Drake out, thanks for putting me on my first tour, when he took him out on tour. And then somebody just tweeted me that Drake donated 75 grand to a school in Philly that Meek went to build a studio in the school. So there's definitely, like, there was a real partnership, if you will, camaraderie.
At some point.
Rosenberg, do you think deep down it bothers Meek how close Nicki and Drake are?
No, because I don't think they're close, and I don't think they've ever been close.
You think they just work together?
Yes.
They came up together, they worked together. And
Straight professional.
Yes. I don't think Drake, maybe at first, when Drake first met her and they were like, oh, you're hot, you're cool, oh, maybe they were close.
But Safari was there all the ways around then.
First of all, she had a boyfriend nonstop.
Yeah.
And second of all, very quickly it became about money and business, and they were just working friends. I don't think Meek's jealous of their relationship. I don't think that.